Good afternoon, my dear students. Here again I am Dr. Vishwajit Gayan, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, Dr. Sudhit Chandrasood, Institute of Technology and Sports Complex. Student, as we are continuing our study with chemical equilibrium, so to know the condition and the movement of a reaction, chemical reaction, the Lasatier principle play an important role to know about the equilibrium of the chemical reaction and the movement of the reaction either forward direction or backward direction. So Lasatier principle is basically tells us about the movement of the reaction, whether it will be benefited or it will be make some disadvantages uh, by some defined condition, that is the dependence of the reaction, basically the chemical equilibrium or the rate of the reaction with concentration, temperature, pressure and other some parameter. So we have already have some idea about the equilibrium, chemical equilibrium. So now how the some parameter control this chemical equilibrium or shift the chemical equilibrium. So before going to the details, I want to discuss some important terms, that is irreversible reaction. Irreversible reaction means it is only go to the forwarded direction, because if Na and is reacted with the H2O, it always form NaOH and hydrogen, and there is no chance to occur the backward reaction. So this type of the reaction is called irreversible reaction or unidirectional reaction. Now for reversible reaction, yes, it is possible to the reaction go in the forward direction and also in backward direction. Here student, there is something wrong notation. It will be not Na, but it will be 2 nitrogen and plus 3 hydrogen. It is in the under equilibrium with the 2 ammonia. Here the equilibrium sign is denoted by double headed arrow, and the direction are in opposite. Now this is the sign of the forward reaction and this is the sign of the backward reaction. If these two, the rate of these two reaction is same, then we can say that the reaction is under equilibrium. So here is from this diagram, that is when the two line are meet to each other and there will be a straight line. So then the straight line means that there is a no change of the reactant and concentration of the reactant and product. Basically the or a reversible reaction is not fixed, that I want to say. For a reversible reaction or a reaction in equilibrium means there is no change of the composition, so with respect to the time. So if we think that the concentration of the if in case of the formation of the ammonia, if I check the concentration of the ammonia at a particular time, and if it is X, then after some time it will be same, then we will say that it is in under equilibrium. But it not means that the equilibrium is or the composition is fixed, because if you look into this picture here, it will be very easy to understand. Here is a water tank, and the water, there's a two type of the water, that is there's a water input from the above and water output from the below. So now if the rate of input and output are same, then there will be no change of the level of water in the tank. So if you someone think that there's a no change of the water and there's a no turbulence force or no disturbance force in the tank, they are wrong. Because yes, the water are coming from above and it is going down by another tap, so it is in the, not, yes, the composition is same all over the time, but the it is under dynamic equilibrium. So this thing is similar for the chemical reaction, like formation of the ammonia and others thing. So as we have seen, the at a state of a chemical equilibrium, the concentration of the all reactant and the product are constant. Yes, I have already told you. Beside concentration, all other measurable property of the system are also acquire constant value at equilibrium. Yes, obviously I said this thing by composition, but it leads us to think that the forward as well as backward reaction have stopped, because as it is a fixed, so one can say there will be no forward direction occur or backward reaction occur. But it is not right, but it is not actually true. So at equilibrium, both forward as well as backward reaction continue to occur, but their rate are same as like the tap water, just to the picture that I have been shown you just now. So this is a similar thing, that the production of the product and the breaking of the product to the reactant are same. So that's why the concentration of the reactant and the product remain unaltered. So that's why it will be dynamic equilibrium. Now the Last-Thayer principle, the most important thing. According to the Last-Thayer, he was an scientist. So if a chemical system at equilibrium, suppose a chemical system or a reaction is under equilibrium and experiences a change in any property, suppose a system is under equilibrium, now you disturb that equilibrium by means of concentration, temperature, pressure, etc. So if you disturb that system, the system will try to minimize itself by changing other parameter, or to counteract the change. They always try to, or the system always try to counteract the change. So very simply, if a system is under chemical equilibrium, now if you disturb it, then the system try to minimize the change or try to nullify this change by changing other property of the system, so that it again come back to the, or return to the equilibrium. So this is the Last-Thayer principle, very simple. And the Last-Thayer principle includes the factor, that is you can disturb a chemical reaction by means of that is change in concentration. Yes, if you change the concentration of the reactant, then the equilibrium will be disturbed, and pressure, then temperature, then catalyst, and effect of the addition of the inert gas. So yes, in next few slide we will discuss about the effect of the temperature, pressure and concentration. So if we think about the concentration, so according to the Last-Thayer principle, when a reactant or product is added to the system, it shifts away from the added component. So if you simply just consider one thing, that is reactant. If you add reactant, then the rate of the forward reaction will be high. Now if reactant or product is removed, then the system again react. So suppose if you remove the ammonia, that is the concentration of the right hand side is decreases, then the forward reaction will be increases. But if you not remove the ammonia from the system, then the concentration of the ammonia will be decreases, then the chances or the rate of the backward reaction, that is the breaking of the ammonia and the formation of the nitrogen and hydrogen, will be increases. So this is the diagram, or basically the equation by which you can understand it is very easily. So if you increase the reactant concentration, then the equilibrium shifted to the forward direction. Now same thing, if you increase the product concentration, then the reaction shifted to the backward direction. So it's very simple. There will be lots of example, but today I'm not discussing with in a particular example, but we are totally today we want to discuss about the theory. So now another one parameter, that is the effect of pressure, that is change in pressure. So again, according to the La-Sathier principle is very simple observing phenomenon. So if the volume decreases for a particular reaction, then the concentration increases, and there will be a shift of the site with a less amount of the moles. And if the volume increases, the concentration decreases and will be shift to the side of the more amount of the moles. So very simply, if I say that if I take the example, that is nitrogen, 2 molecule of nitrogen and 3 molecule of hydrogen form 2 ammonia. I'm sorry, 1 molecule of nitrogen and 3 molecule of hydrogen. 1 molecule of nitrogen and 3 molecule of hydrogen form 2 molecule of ammonia. So in the left hand side, or the reactant, are 4 molecule, and it is converted to the 2 molecule, that is product is 2 molecule. So here volume decreases. So if you consider the reactant, volume is 4, and if you consider the unimolecular, then in the right hand side in the product the volume decreases. So if you increase the pressure, so that means the volume will be reduced. So it will be going, if you increase the pressure, then nitrogen and hydrogen will be try to decrease the pressure, and it is lead to the formation of ammonia. So decrease in pressure shift the equilibrium direction, large number of gaseous molecule. Obviously, that is, it will be going forward, and increase in pressure, lesser number of the gaseous molecule. So if you think about the ammonia and nitrogen and hydrogen, so under high pressure it will be beneficial to get ammonia, but under low pressure it will be, that is in the low pressure the volume will be increases. So at that situation the ammonia is broken down and form nitrogen and 3 hydrogen, so the volume will be increases. So here the case will be opposite, that is the backward reaction will be more. So now another one thing, that is effect of temperature or change in temperature. Basically or normally, if we consider the chemical reaction, two type of the chemical reaction with respect to the heat and the energy concern: exothermic reaction and endothermic reaction. In exothermic reaction, heat is produced due to the reaction, and in endothermic reaction, heat is required to conduct the reaction forward. So in exothermic reaction, heat is produced, and endothermic reaction, heat is absorbed. So in case of the exothermic reaction, if you, as there is a heat is generated, so if you increase the temperature, then the more energy is supplied, so the backward reaction will be occur, because it is a more heat or more energy, so the backward reaction will be happen with a faster rate. But if you decrease the temperature for exothermic reaction, then the right hand side, the heat will be consumed, so the forward reaction will be takes place in the higher extent. So for exothermic reaction, low temperature is preferable, but high temperature is not preferable, and opposite is just opposite is in the case of endothermic reaction. Endothermic reaction, heat is required, so if you supply heat, that means if you increase the temperature, so you supplying the heat, so it will be forward direction, that is the reaction will be go to the forward direction. But if you perform this thing in the lower temperature, then the backward reaction will be predominant. So there is the application of the temperature in ammonia, but again I am saying today I am not discussing about the application of Lassatier principle in particular or real cases, but we are discussing about the principle. So for exothermic reaction, as it is this formation of the ammonia is exothermic reaction, because H minus means it will produce heat. So addition of the heat shift to the reactant, so it will be backward reaction, and remove heat, that is shift to the product. Yes, of course. Now the effect of the catalyst. So basically the catalyst have no effect on the equilibrium, but yes, it increases or decreases the rate of the reaction. So yes, one reaction can be happened very easily by means of catalyst, but there is no effect on the chemical equilibrium. So if you look into the diagram of a particular reaction, so black line is represent the reaction pathway under so if you look the picture very well, then the black line is represented the reaction pathway without catalyst, and green line is represented by the reaction in presence of catalyst. So if you look here, the activation energy for a particular reaction will be lower in presence of catalyst rather than in absence of catalyst. So now if you look the picture and the diagram, so here the decrease of the activation energy takes place in both two cases, that is in the forward direction and the backward direction. So here the green line is the activation energy required at when we use the catalyst, and the black line is represented the activation energy required in absence of the catalyst. So the activation energy decreases for a chemical reaction by using catalyst is the same for backward and forward reaction. So that's why I told you that there is no effect of catalyst in the chemical equilibrium. So there will be no change of the reactant or the reaction if you use the catalyst. So there will be, yes, another important thing, that is effect of the another inert gas. So you are looking at that if you add inert gas, it will not hamper the chemical reaction by means of the reaction, but yes, it increases the pressure. That is, if you insert some inert gas, it will increases the pressure and any spaces the equilibrium. So this will not affect the equilibrium system. If the substance does react with the species in equilibrium, then there will be a shift. But as inert gas is not reacted, so there will be no problem. Addition of the inert gas at constant volume has no effect on equilibrium. So these are the thing, or these are the all about the Le-Chatelier's principle. Here today I mainly discuss about the principle of the Le-Chatelier. This is Le-Chatelier principle and the dependence of the equilibrium with respect to the temperature, pressure, catalyst, and addition of the inert gas and other also. Next day we'll discuss, or the next class we'll discuss about the application of the Le-Chatelier principle in real cases, that is the application of Le-Chatelier principle in formation of sulfuric acid by contact process or ammonia by Haber's process. So here if we go to that reaction and other thing, then we will get actual idea that how can we control the reaction by Le-Chatelier principle, or we can get benefited by means of Le-Chatelier principle, and we make a reaction, low cost reaction, by using Le-Chatelier principle, and we industrially we are benefited by these laws or this control. So that's all, student. So thank you for your kind attention. Take care. Thank you very much.